In this video, I'm going to show you how you can add wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto to your W205 Mercedes C-Class. This example here is a C63S, but the process is identical as long as the screen looks like this. This can be done on a C200, 250, 300, doesn't matter, C43. The entire process remains the same. First thing first, cover up your screen with some microfiber because we're going to remove this panel, and when it's coming out you don't want it to be touching against the screen or damaging anything and or scratching anything. Then you have to start by removing this trim around here. It can pry out from either side. So one here, one on the other. You can press these two tabs along the side. Now once that is out, that can sit on the side. There's two Torx 20 here that you have to remove, and that is the only two screws holding this whole panel in. Let's just remove those two Torx 20 and then we can remove all the plugs that needs to be undone. And then we can remove this whole panel and this will sit on the side, and then we will start working on the radio removal. One more thing you can do is to keep your microfiber in place on top of the screen is just use some of the tape to tape up the microfiber to itself, fold it up so it's nice and neat. Nothing's getting blocked at the bottom. Screen secure. Let's move on. Alright, so the only two connections you have to undo on this side is this white plug, push it out, this one again, push it out. At the back, behind your 12-volt socket, there's this clip. It's not a push-in clip, it's a L shape. You have to press against here. It pops out. These three, one of them is connected to clock, the other two are connected to these two trims. Once all of that is out, this panel is out, you can sit this on the side, move on to the next process. Now for the next part, you have to get this radio out, which is just held on by these two Torx 20. You can undo them most of the way and they will come up to this point where it's gonna get blocked by this plastic trim. Once it's at that point, so these will pry open, so you don't actually need to get the screw out of the plastic shroud. Same on the other side. Once both of them is out, this will pull out. There's a lot of connections behind here. Be very careful when removing those connections. I'm going to undo these screws, remove the connection, put the radio on the side. See you guys in the next clip. As you can see here, the screw did not need to come all the way out. It just gets stuck on the top part of the plastic shroud that's holding the screw in. Same on the other side, and then the radio can slide up and out of that. Make sure to use a lot of microfiber. I've just used this microfiber to help me rest the radio against here without actually scratching anything, and then get all of the connections out from behind. Take a note of where the fiber optics, these are your fiber optics cable. Take a note of which position it's sitting in, because when we do in our installation module, it's going to have a T-harness for your cord lock, and you have to transplant this fiber optics from the original side into the new one. Once your NTG radio is all undone, you can put it on the side and then move on with the installation. Since we're going to mount our module right around here in the passenger side carpet, there's going to be one panel underneath your glove box that we need to remove in order to pry open the carpet. So it's only held in by one Torx 20 from memory. So let's undo that, and then I'll put that panel down and show you how you can pry this out and safely mount your module in there for a nice and clean installation. This is the panel that comes in from the bottom. It sits like that. There's a Torx 20 here. You can remove that. One connection here for your cabin temperature sensor. There's one more connection here for your light. Only those two connections out, and this panel can sit on the side. And now we can move on to the next part of the installation. Now in the installation kit, you'll get Western Auto Customs NTG5 installation box. This is the module that's actually going to run your entire CarPlay system. You'll get a cord lock interception. That side is going to plug in back to your factory radio, and that is going to your original cord lock connection. Your LVDS cable, low voltage display signal cable, that is going to intercept a display, which is going to allow for the module to send display to your original screen. So mounting double-sided tape and a high-quality Wi-Fi antenna to improve the connectivity with your phone. Now the very first part of the installation assembly process, tape every wire that you see. So using some of this nice fabric high-quality tape, you can tape everything up so when you're driving, and even if the thing touches your car, there's going to be no sound. Otherwise this is going to rattle around and it's going to do your head in. It's a good idea to tape everything that you're going to put into the car for the nicest and the cleanest installation. Look at how much nicer the wiring is looking with the new fabric tape. I'm going to go ahead and do the same process on all of the open wires, from my LVDS, from my cord lock connection, the USBs and everything else. Once all of that is done, I'll see you guys in the next clip. You'll see all of these connections with the front camera, rear camera, all their power out and in. You don't need to worry about that unless you're installing an aftermarket camera. That's not applicable for your factory camera. So you can, if you're using your factory camera, you can go ahead and tape it up. And if you're adding an aftermarket camera, because these modules also support aftermarket camera, you can go ahead and plug, for example, your rear one into the rear camera, your front camera if you're mounting one to the front one, connect the powers accordingly. These also have power for the front, left, right and rear, so you can do a full 360 camera with these. In this case, I'm just gonna go and tape up this original miking, and then that's gonna plug in. That is gonna allow for us to split the original mic to use with the car. All right, all of the wiring has been taped up neatly. Now it's time for me to show you guys how everything is gonna plug in. First off, your LVDS cable. So that part is gonna go to your module, the white side, so you can feed it through behind there, and it's gonna come out here at the back where we're going to mount the module. This female side of the green part is gonna connect to the blue one here. That's your LVDS from the original radio. That's gonna go into the female side. The male side of your harness is gonna connect to your factory radio there, right? Pretty simple. Blue into the female side of the green, and the new male side of the green into the original factory blue side. Next up is removing your fiber optics from the original side of the quad lock. So you see these tabs up top here. Just push it up. I like to use a pick tool for that. You can just push that up. This will slide out, and it's gonna go into the exact same position on the new one. It goes in and it just kind of locks in. That fiber optics has gone to the new one, and the original quad lock has connected to the female side of the new harness. A lot of people ask why I don't show how to do this one. If you're not comfortable doing a quad lock transfer from one to the other, it's probably a good idea not to do this installation on your own and get it done professionally. Coming on to mounting your Wi-Fi module, you want to mount it on a plastic surface away from any of the electronics. There's a nice flat surface behind here. Remove the adhesive, mount it there, make sure the whole thing is being covered. Otherwise, this is going to fall off and you're not going to have a good day. You have to pretty much get it out, put a new adhesive and then put it back on, which is a pain in the ass. So avoid that. Mount it right the first time you do it. Make sure it's nice and tight wherever it is on, and on a clean, non-greasy surface. Now once all of your wiring has been run through to this side, that is where we are going to mount a module. So what I'm going to do now is plug and play everything onto the actual module itself. That one there is going to be a Wi-Fi antenna. That's your main power harness coming out of the quad lock, and that's your display cable with this one connecting to the mic. That's my mic, main power harness, my Wi-Fi antenna, and my LVDS is somewhere around here. There you go. Once all of that is plugged in, make it nice and neat, put it away. Make sure you use the sticky double-sided that comes with the kit, and then mount it at the back. It's not gonna move anymore. I know this is gonna work, but a good part for you guys would be to just plug everything back in and just test it. So I'm done with all of my plug and play. The module has been mounted here. You can see the carpet goes back in flush. You don't need to worry about that. If you are getting hindrance, you can remove some of this sound insulation foam. It's not gonna make any big difference removing that small piece out of your carpet. We have done this 1,000 times. It doesn't make any difference. Don't worry about it. You can go ahead and do it. Let's start mounting the radio back in, and then we are good to test and mount things back. Another thing I'm going to do with this USB is put it into the center console. Now in order to do that, there's two Torx 20 here. You can remove that. This panel will slide up top. You can feed it through from the side, leave it in, and then screw the panel back in. So I'm gonna do that now, and then I'll see you guys in the next clip. All right, so the radio has been put back in. You have to pull these tabs back out in order to slide the radio back in, and then once you push it back in, they will sit in their place. You can screw them back on. Don't go over tightening on them. They are not the strongest speed clips. Now once that is done, a good idea when you're putting your whole center console back together is to make sure you go in the same order as you came out. So for me, it's gonna be these clips, then the 12-volt socket, and then the bottom ones. That's the key to make sure once you're putting it back in, you don't actually end up having one wire long, one wire short, not enough movement to put it back in the right way. So let me do that, and I'll see you in 3, 2, 1. That's the center console put back in together. I'm very confident that this is gonna work. So I'm gonna screw everything back on and then start testing. Again, I can't stress this enough. Please test before screwing everything back on. This happened to me numerous times in the beginning when I started doing the installation. Is once I've done putting everything back together, that is when the things were not working and I had to take the whole thing out for some minor mistake that I've done during the installation. So good idea is to test it at this stage. Once everything is working, you can go ahead and put everything back together. All right, now booting into the system. Let's see if it's gonna work. $5 is gonna work. Press and hold. Boom, CarPlay. Now, if you're on a left-hand drive car, your settings are going to be slightly different. For the right-hand drive car, I'll show you what settings you need to do in order for you to be able to use your MB Bluetooth system and still be able to use CarPlay. In the CarPlay module, go into settings. By the way, to get in the CarPlay, you press and hold this star button here. It's going to bring you up to this screen. Go in the settings. First thing you have to do is in the car settings, select the reversing camera as the factory 360. If you've got the 360, if you don't have the 360, just go ahead and select the factory camera only. Next setting is to go into your front camera, turn it on. I keep it on 5 seconds generally. So when you go into reverse and come back on, it's going to show you your front camera for 5 seconds, which is good. That's what I've got on my car, and that seems to do the job for me. On the microphone, select OEM microphone settings there. That's good. Go into system, factory mode. In there you'll see phone link settings. Disable phone link audio. What this does is it makes your CarPlay a display only. So whenever you connect to CarPlay, it's gonna come up as only as your display, and your sound is gonna go through your MB Bluetooth system. Your calls are gonna go through your MB Bluetooth system, so you don't need to worry about any of that. Since this is a right-hand drive car, I'm going to enable the right-hand car drive. That's all done. Click apply, go back, click reboot. It's gonna come up with a logo for Limited. Once that is done, this installation is done, I can get my phone paired up and show you how the system works. That is the CarPlay up and running, guys. Have a look at that. And all my sound is still going through my factory MB Bluetooth. So if you see here, I'm only connected to the MB Bluetooth system. That's running my audio. That is an amazing way to do the CarPlay. It feels like a factory feature. You can play any song you like on here and it's gonna come up as if it was a factory feature. The other cool feature with our module is once we're playing a song on here, I don't wanna get a copyright, but you can see what's playing on there. Same thing comes up next to your speedometer instead of just saying AUX or something, because we're using the factory Bluetooth integration. That is a unique feature. You don't see it on the market. That's amazing. Guys, if you want a system like this to do a DIY and follow the instructions, you can click the link below and buy one for yourself at www.westernautocustoms.com.au. Or if you want me to do a professional install like this on your car, on your C63, C43, on your C200, 250, 300, any car for that matter, Audi, BMW, Porsches, we do all of them integration modules like this. Amazing. You can send me an email on info@westernautocustoms.com.au for one of yours.